the infamous N-word and caused a whole shitstorm on YouTube with the infamous ad-pocalypse. That was crazy. I didn't actually understand the gravitas of it, back then, because I didn't give a fuck. I was like, oh, you lot just gonna still make videos? I mean, I wasn't even watching PewDiePie, but it was just kind of news that was everywhere. I only watched as ashamed as I am to say, obviously now, KSI, but KSI was funny to me back then when I was a kid. Like, I don't think he's funny at all now, like, at all. I think he should just go about just being a serious person. Like, I honestly think he should just go around in a suit and tie. Like, I don't think he should even try to be funny anymore, because it just comes across as irritating.
Fight wars using hammers. Okay, not really. Warhammer 40k is a massive, bombastic universe in the grimdark future of the 40th millennium, where humanity is fighting wars on an epic scale on multiple fronts against all sorts of horrors. Space orcs, space elves, literal demons from hell, humans corrupted by literal demons from hell. The Zerg. Warhammer got its start as a tabletop game, and at the core it still is. Imagine chess but more complex, where two players bring out their hand-painted...
I wanna hear about the racism. I want to hear about it. Is that where we're going? I need to hear it.
Armies of miniatures and battle it out on a large board. It's a cool experience at game stores or game bars where you get to meet people, socialize, and show off your cool miniatures.
Wait.
Today, however, the Warhammer IP has already outgrown...
Okay, I thought he was dropping me in for a sponsor there. You know them ones where the YouTuber like slides it in. You don't even know. You don't even know you're being sold to right now. It's like, I'm giving you a proposal and you don't even know it.
Tabletop niche, and now includes ultra-popular AAA game titles such as the latest Space Marine 2 with more than 2 million copies sold worldwide. But the Warhammer IP has not been without its controversies. We now have gamer-gators accusing the parent company Games Workshop of turning the game woke by introducing into it the most absurd creatures.
I need everything in this world to be woke. Oh, they didn't let me. They didn't let me go. When I got off Cynical's stream yesterday and that old Jill guy got on, oh lord, they should have let me back on. I heard him say the word woke unironically and I was like, brother, do not. Like, I can't just let him say that. I was like, what? He used the word woke and nobody said anything? I was like, no, nobody said anything? I know who I'm surrounded by. I was like, I know who I'm surrounded by. I was like, bro, let me on this call right now. I was like, Cynical, don't piss me off. Let me on this call!
Out, they say. So what's going on here? Do gamer-gators have a point? Is Warhammer turning woke? Or are the critics correct here and Warhammer is indeed turning into a celebration of fascism? To answer this question, we need to talk about Starship Troopers, the subject of much online discussion as of late. Now please hold that thought for a moment and let me pay some bills. You might have noticed that the world is...
Wait, pay some bills? Oh, now he's gonna do a... Elon Musk, put him in prison. I swear to God, man, I'm telling you, the UK government, if there's one thing they do, it's to arrest this man. I'm telling you, I'll even become a police officer. I'll even become a police officer if they arrest Elon Musk. I might give a police officer a thumbs up. I'm like, if I see all well done, man. I won't shake their hand or anything like that. You know what I mean? I don't need to go that far. But it's kind of like a head nod. A head nod's good enough. Some Christmas religion. What's that? Christmas religion? What is this?
Hey, hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
Jingle hell, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle hell, jingle all the way. With horns up down.
Jingle hell. I was going to say he's not saying bells.
Run loose tonight, they rip, they ride the sleigh.
Dashing through the snow with a one-house open face, dashing through the road, one house open say. Okay.
Rights to the citizen is through military service and so on. But is it fascist? No, it's just 1950s right-wing and jingoistic. Imagine a sci-fi universe created by...
So, okay, I love it. I'm agreeing with him. But he seems to be giving them their arguments. I don't understand why, bro.
Ex-military boomer who has a Clint Eastwood profile picture on Facebook and who can't shut up about how back in his day everyone worked 26-hour workdays 10 days a week and no one complained, as opposed to the weak and entitled generation today. Military service should be compulsory to teach these soy latte drinking weaklings some discipline. But in person the guy is nice to you and always offers you beer when you come over. That's the authorial context of the Starship Troopers book, basically. Now keep in mind, while the book itself isn't fascistic, the Terran Federation in it kind of is, and the
I knew it. I felt like I liked his arguments, but I felt like it was on shaky legs, bro. It was on shaky legs. Imagine now, I'm thinking I'm gonna watch this now, trying to, okay, maybe I want to defend Starship Troopers. How? Like how? You've given me all of the arguments that I now look at and go, maybe they got a point, bro. Like maybe they got a point.
And oh boy, did many people fail this test. The discourse essentially became an indicator of who would fall for Nazi propaganda, where all the Aryan Germans are depicted as tall, strong and beautiful, and all the supposed subhumans as revolting freaks. With that, Starship Troopers gave us a very important revelation about the importance of aesthetics. If an otherwise horrible faction is depicted as badass and handsome in an IP, some people will start idolizing them and co-opt their visuals, no matter how monstrous the faction is or how much satire you heap on. And this brings us to Warhammer 40k. Let's consider its opening paragraph. It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of...
Just like, I don't know why you would think... I don't know what kind of expectations we're having from, like, the Warhammer characters, or, like, the characters in Warhammer. Like, what kind of... Like, they're supposed to be just... Mostly just, you know... kind of dumb with their ideologies, like, you know what I mean? It's like they're not like, they've all kind of grown up in a similar way, you know, like the different sects and the different factions have all grown up like similarly. The Space Marines, they have their own shit that they grew up fucking hearing. You've got like each individual planet and how they fucking get brought up, which is basically the same. It's like some of them don't even fucking finish education, even have education, and they just naturally just believe the same things because that's just how society is. And you literally can get killed if you don't, so it's better to just kind of go with the flow.
Eternity of carnage and slaughter and the laughter of thirsting gods. The 40k universe is a rough place. It's basically war and suffering turned up to a ridiculous level, and it kinda works. Warhammer 40k manages to straddle the line between epic and silly, nailing the perfect ratio of the two. And this works really well for the board game. You both bring out your armies you spent 200 plus hours painting, one of you fields Chaos Marines, the other Astra Militarum, and you duke it out in this silly but epic setting, having lots of fun in the process. This over-the-top horrifying universe is a great niche for tabletop games played by nerds, including yours truly. But what if you want to make
surprisingly not super racist? And yes, Tower Blue, I thought so. And it's like, yeah, and you even just see the way even just the nobles just speak about people, and you're like, yeah, this is basically like a comical version of how you would think rich people would speak about the people that are less than them, which is true. which is why, like, that's the satire in it, you know what I mean? It's the satire, is like they're not holding it back. It's like these people find, like, they will burn like 20 bodies and all laugh and crack jokes because they don't see them as people. And that's what's supposed to be the satire. It's like, you know,
how do you make an enjoyable AAA game around these ideas? Games Workshop thought long and hard and decided that they'll just kind of forget about most of the grimdark stuff. The Space Marine games, while containing hints of the absurdity of the Imperium, are for the most part made to make the player feel like a cool, epic, badass war hero soldier mowing down thousands of enemies without breaking a sweat. And with that, Games Workshop has made the biggest mistake possible when it comes to depicting fascists. They made them appear cool and badass. And yes, Space Marines are fascists. They're turbo space Nazis who will turn you into minced meat if you say something they deem heretical. Atrocities, purges and genocides are just part for
all you have to do is just play any Warhammer game and see the way these motherfuckers react to anything that's just not human. It's like, oh my lord.
Worse for them. If your service to the Imperium means mowing down 10,000 civilians because there might be heretics among them, so be it. You're murdering women and children without any second thought or remorse because you are a mindless drone bred for combat, and that's just what it's...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum.
It's like to live under the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. If you doubt me, I invite you to check out the episode in the Garden of Ghosts from the Hammer and Bolter series, where we are treated to a scene of a purged Forge world. No, wait, that's the Adeptus Mechanicus thing, alright. Craft World. That's a giant space habitat basically, where the Eldari, the space elves, live. Home to millions at minimum. Well, the noble Ultramarines massacred the entire Forge world, murdering untold thousands.
And I don't even think like this is like crazy to show on TV. Like, let's not act like Invincible, an Amazon exclusive show, didn't show Ultraman fucking destroy an entire planet of innocent people just because they attacked him first. It's like, regardless of the ones that attacked him or not, it's like he just went through all of them. All of them.
And it would just be weird playing as a psychotic, murderous maniac committing crimes against humanity for 8 hours without any self-awareness or remorse. Actually that sounds like super fun and— wait, I'm sorry, this video is for people 13 and above. Who let these children in here? What I love playing as an unrepentant murderous psycho. Yeah, try playing Mass Effect as a renegade. Don't believe me? Apparently, according to Mass Effect player stats, 92% of players played as Paragon and only 8% as renegade.
I mean, it's just the trend in general. I find it very hard to play games as the bad guy. It's like, especially when like the game starts getting you to do horrible shit, bro.
Warhammer Shooter was true to form, and the player was made to feel like a disposable cog in a purposeless murder machine, tasked with the occasional genocide.
However, I think Warhammer would do very well going the tyranny route, like making a game like Tyranny, where you only have two choices really on like who the kind of person you want to be. Well, obviously there's a lot more in terms of sub choices, but like you can be a bad guy or you can be a worse bad guy. It's like you can't really be the good guy. The game kind of lets you know that you are not the good guys. Like you're actually fighting against the good guys, and all the decisions that you make, someone's gonna fucking get hurt. You know what I mean? Because you're here to hurt people.
People who would love that and would absolutely play that game.
Like I saw at one point, you know, like the option of like, what was it, a baby? Like killing. I was like, bro, what? I was like, what? That's crazy.
But if you're making a game,
luckily I made like a choice, or like got something like earlier in the game that allowed me to like pick like a third option. But like I was like, yo, you cannot lock me into this two shits right now. I think it was like either between a baby or like another really important character. And I'm like, realistically, I'm gonna go with the baby, but like fuck, like, because the baby's also quite important too. You're just like, yo, I don't know what to do.
the reason why the Warhammer 40k books and tabletop games are allowed to get away with containing atrocities while video games aren't is because in the game you would get to act out said atrocities.
Oh, yeah.
At the very least, we would get vivid depictions of them. You don't just read about.
What was that game that came out? Was it Hatred or Hunted or some shit like that? With a guy with a long hair? I never played it, but it was the one where you just go around and you're just literally a mass murderer. That's awful. Like, shit story, shit everything. That's just the aim. Just go around and just kill. Just blue, blue, blue. And say like really edgy shit. It's like, that's it.
I would say Space Marines murdering 10,000
They got so much backlash. Like, where is the game even today? Is it even still up? Probably.
women and children, or you don't just play with miniatures of a Space Marine faction, which according to the lore once murdered 10,000 women and children. Nope, this is an interactive video game where you are a Space Marine and congratulations, your next mission is to purge a civilian slum of 10,000 where the presence of heretics is suspected. Here's your chainsword and plasma incinerator, good luck. And then you get dropped onto the map with a counter appearing on your screen standing at 0 out of 10,000. Nobody would want to play that game, and those who even bother to try wouldn't have fun playing it if the game was even legal to distribute. Even though such a game would fit perfectly into the Warhammer 40k universe. Such is life under the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable in the grimdark future. And that's just what they often do to fellow humans. Sentient, non-human civilians, even if not hostile, usually just get instantly murdered or worked to death as slaves. So Games Workshop had to take a different approach with their AAA game. For the sake of broad appeal, they had to gracefully sideline the unspeakable evil and cruelty of the Imperium.
I think the TV show with Henry Cavill will go a similar route, which once again I'm fine with. And if it goes down the same route as the game, because I don't think they're gonna fucking like. There's no way they're gonna like. People are gonna call the show woke. If that's what happens, then that's what happens. Why might we see a female Space Marine or like a female, you know, something in there that shouldn't be? Possibly. But I hope people do not turn on my boy Henry Cavill, because I will be there. Listen, Listen. Nah. Let me not think about it, man.
He's a protagonist. He's also a brainwashed space Nazi psychopath prepared to commit even the most heinous atrocities without a hint of doubt should his masters command him. But let's not portray that, because that would be a downer for the average player. Therefore, in Space Marine 2, Titus is mostly portrayed as a selfless war hero instead. And I know that there is a bit more nuance to the story and the character, especially in light of the previous game, but that unfortunately doesn't matter. That's stuff for lore wonks, not your average player who might not even have played the previous game. The nuance is lost on them. And because of this, due to the satire taking a backseat, we have lunatic space Nazis made to look like heroes tirelessly fighting against a tidal wave of freaks that threaten to destroy their glorious civilization. Which is exactly how, say, white nationalists think of themselves, isn't it? The brave champions protecting white civilization from an onslaught of swarthy subhumans who would destroy all they've built.
That's why I said Elon Musk needs to go, bro. That's why I said he needs to just go, bro.
And since the video games have an overwhelming cultural influence compared to the books or the tabletop, the game's portrayal of Warhammer 40k becomes dominant in popular culture. Sort of like how the average person thinks of Superman as an unfeeling alien god. That's because those god-awful Snyder movies depicted him as such. Meanwhile, in the comics, he's this cool and friendly guy. I believe Cosmonaut Variety.
No! Hold on a minute, man. Listen, I'm a Superman. I'm not Superman's biggest fan. I do like me some Clark Kent, but to just say Superman is just a nice, friendly guy as like the crux of his character, and not fair enough. I think Zack Snyder most definitely did play up that whole godly aspect of things. But to act like that's not part of Superman's character is insane.
Hour put it best, and I'm paraphrasing. In the movies, Clark Kent is the mask worn by Superman, but in reality, Superman is the mask worn by Clark Kent. But due to the movie's overwhelming cultural influence over the comics, movie Superman becomes the cultural standard. Same with Warhammer 40k. The ultra-popular games will be the ones dictating the IP's public perception, not the niche books or the tabletop game. Unsurprisingly, the far-right began co-opting Warhammer 40k already a few years ago, God Emperor Trump being the most obvious example. Also God Emperor Putin, go figure. Now, far-right...
Yeah, because they're fucking lame, bro. Because they're fucking lame. It's like...
Fans of Warhammer don't actually play the tabletop game, so you won't be meeting them in real life. Online though, Warhammer 40k communities are often literal cancer, with people unironically parroting the fascist propaganda of the Imperium. Burn the heretics, kill the mutants, purge the unclean. It is better to die for the Emperor rather than to live for yourself. An open mind is like a fortress with its gates unbarred and unguarded. Killed lots of Xenos and got coin. For the Emperor. Here's this image depicting an Imperium guardsman blowing himself up with an Eldari, basically a space elf, titled The Emperor Protects, with 1.9 thousand likes. The soldier is glad to die for the Emperor and believes that he saved him by letting him die in war. He's been brainwashed that hard. And the comments next to the image are of a similar vein. Approved. When I'm gone, I'll meet the God Emperor, but you Xeno scum, the only god you'll meet is the Dark God, whatever that is. Cadia stands for Cadia. Cadia is a fortress world most famous for
Oh, it's funny because I think some of these people genuinely just think they're saying some cool shit. Some people just genuinely they don't know what they're even contributing to, and I'm not gonna fault them. Not everybody is perusing through the internet and thinking, oh, am I contributing to fascism? I'm not even doing that, bruh. I'm not even doing that when I'm on the internet.
Far-right infiltration of 40k is such a recurring problem that Games Workshop had to issue multiple statements already stating that Warhammer is for everyone, it is not based on hate, it is satire, and that far-right people should fuck off from the hobby. Basically.
Word!
So,
like I said, you cannot be in fantasy and be fucking bringing that nonsense over here. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? You're not a real fan. You're not a real fan. What you are is a bum. A bum.
Female Space Marines? Hell yeah. Female Adeptus Custodes? Naturally. Adopt us custodes. Also, add more skin colors. The ensuing outrage will basically be free advertising.
Yes, I was gonna say this too. Get more black people in there. Get more Indian people in there. Get more Asian people. Like, you know what I mean? Let's see them all. Let's have all the fucking losers rage on the internet. Oh my god, like there's black Space Marines more than I'm used to seeing. This is just a bit too overwhelming for me. Let's all laugh at them, you know what I mean? Let's all laugh at them.
And those who are put off by that, you don't want them in the hobby anyway. Do you have some more ideas? Feel free to share them in the comments. Normally I don't read them, but this time I'm genuinely interested and will go over them at least once. In the meantime, thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my work, consider becoming a patron or a channel member.
Thank you for a great video there, Adam something. Thank you for a very good video. You know what I mean? Oh God! Oh God, I didn't even see this dislike. Oh my Lord! Warhammer fans were in. I will give you a like. I agree with a lot of what he said too, but I know that there's some people that will have just heard it and just gone dislike. I mean 19k. It was expected. I think it was a pretty divisive vid, especially for the community that it's about. So real Warhammer 40k fan, for real, man. Like I would honestly just kill myself 5 minutes in there, bro. Fuck that. Ah, bless. But shit, man. My babes is on her way back. We been out here.